Okay, we're gonna get started. Yes, yay. Okay, when you put in the when you type, make sure you put the little blue thing down to everyone so that everybody can see what you're saying. So just before you type in the chat, there's a little blue drop down thing, change it to everyone. Otherwise, only I can see what you're writing. So a bunch of you posted and only I can see it. Nobody else can see it. Let me know where you are in the world, why you're here, and we will get started very, very soon because we have lots of material to get through, and I want to make sure that we get through everything. Hopefully you all know who oh, Republic of Panama. Wow. I don't think we've had anyone from the Republic of Panama yet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have the UK, we have Canada, Philadelphia, Netherlands. Yeah, I don't, you have to drop it to it where you type the message. There's a little blue thing right above it, and there's a little arrow, and it should, there's hosts and panelists, and then everyone. So I can't help you beyond that. Buffalo. Ooh, Marie is 100 days alcohol free today. Well done. Sweden, Essex, 6 years sober. Jane. Okay, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, welcome. Someone's here from Bournemouth and has been diagnosed with cirrhosis. And it's very important that you're here and that you stop drinking. San Francisco. My husband's from San Francisco. Suffolk. I'm a Norfolk girl. So does everyone know me? Have you kind of like come across, like, has anyone seen my videos or read my books or podcasts or any of that kind of stuff? As you can tell, I'm British. I live in Alabama. So I live in the deep South. I lived all over the States. I've been sober for over 24 years, and I've used to work as a psychotherapist in the UK. And now I work as a sobriety coach, and I've done that for a long time. And I have three books out there and a podcast and all that kind of stuff. So first things first, we are going to go through, I'm going to go through I'm going to teach you a whole bunch today. This 5 days is packed. Like, I have packed it. I always put too much in. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to probably want a paper and pen to make some notes. Now, we have a Facebook group that is just for people who are doing the Fresh Start Challenge. And we also have a homework question at the end of each day. And if you do your homework question, you can win a prize. But you have to post your answer in the Facebook group. And I will show you how to do that. So Carrie will put the link to the Facebook group. And if you're not in the Facebook group, please join. I know, like, I can't get into the whole thing about Facebook. I know we just done this a lot over the years, and we find that engagement is, like, Facebook's still the best place to do that. I don't know about you, but I'm a bit fed up with all the logins and different platforms and blah. So we're using Facebook. So please join the Facebook group. Carrie will put the link in shortly. Carrie, do you have that? To join the Facebook group. And then if you want to win prizes and all of that kind of stuff, then that's great. Okay, we're just going to crack on, right? People are going to still be joining, but I'm going to crack on. I don't know why that is. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is just hosts and panelists. Maybe it's just me. Huh. No, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe that's something we'll need to fix. And maybe Carrie can't put the link in, and maybe I've got to do it. Hold on. Let me find the link for the Facebook group. It's really worth joining that, because I will be popping in there over the week and answering questions and commenting. And if you want to win the prize, there we go. So, okay, I think the host panelist thing, then I guess it's probably my end. That means it's my end. Give me 1 second to see if I can know how to fix that. Oh, here you go. It's me, guys. Sorry, it's my end. It's my end. There we go. Can you try it now? It was my end. I have to give you permission. Oh, no, hold on. I did here you go, everyone. Panelists can check with everyone. Okay. Now it should work. Yes, yes, it works. Oh my God, sorry. Do you know when I did my podcast, which is almost 7 years old now, has anyone listened to the podcast? Chip and I would spend literally about 3 years, every single time we met to do the podcast, we would spend 20 minutes going, I can't hear you, you're muted. Like, it took us years to figure it out, and we did the same thing every week. Okay, has everybody, like, who's seen some of my videos or read some of my books, who's just kind of found me? Like, does anyone know, is anyone like, oh, who's this chick from England and all of that kind of stuff? Who knew? Okay, new. Okay, all right. So yeah, I've been sober 24 years. I've done this for a while. I am okay. Well, what I'm going to teach this over 5 days. This is important. I want you to know this. There is a lot of people teaching sobriety courses, getting sober courses. You've probably seen them all over social media. Some are very good. Most of them are put together by people who got sober and saw business opportunities and Googled some things. So I need you to know this about me. I was a member of several professional organizations in the UK, British Association of Counselling Psychotherapists. I was a psychotherapist in private practice. I have started and run a rehab, and I now work as a sobriety coach. I am qualified and experienced to deliver this material. So I have thousands of supervised clinical hours and thousands of hours of experience working directly with clients. And I just want you to know that. I want you to know what you are getting here. Okay. I want you to know what you are getting here. So this isn't stuff that I've Googled and regurgitated. This is all from my experience of working with lots and lots of clients and my own personal recovery journey. So I want to share my screen because I have a little PowerPoint. Okay, okay, let me show you. This is the Facebook. This is the Fresh Start Challenge Facebook group. Please, if you want to win prizes, then there will be a post that goes up and you need to comment on the post. And otherwise, I can't, I have no idea. That's the only way you can win prizes. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, there's the Facebook group. Thank you, Carrie. Okay. Can everybody, sorry, give me a second while I slide, view, slideshow. Can everyone see that? No, I can't see any of the chat. Where's the chat? There it is. Can everyone see that? Yes, yes, yes. You can see it. Great. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to get through a lot of stuff today. You may want to make notes. There will be a recording. You can watch the recording. Okay. Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about. Day one, how to stop thinking about drinking. Okay. We're going to go over several things. I'm going to explain the background to what, having a problem with alcohol, all of that kind of stuff. I'm just going to make sure I turn the chat off because it's impossible for me to think and notice and all that kind of stuff. So I'll check the chat in a few minutes. Okay. I promised if you work with me by doing this 5-day challenge, by doing the work that I teach, the programs that I teach, I will mess up your drinking and you will experience a transformation. And the reason for that is I am going to show you over these 5 days things that you cannot unknow. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to hopefully teach you things that are going to blow your mind, and you won't be able to forget them. If you work with me, and I mean sort of more directly in one of my programs, my work is based on rational motive behavioral therapy, and it's very cognitive and it changes you. And this change is an internal change. Okay, why stop drinking? Why are you here? Let me know in the chat. Why are you here? Why did you sign up for this? Why are you going to do it? Health is a really good reason. It's very motivating. Need accountability, sick and tired of being sick and tired, get control back, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's such an inanimate object, isn't it, alcohol? Such a little, innocent little thing, but causes us so many problems. and is much, much harder to quit, you know, than we imagine, right? Just stop. If it's bad, if it's causing a problem, just stop, right? If only it was that easy. So today is the day you could walk into a brand new life. I get these messages all the time and I really love them. Every so often somebody will, a client of mine will message me like, I'm 500 days, I'm 5 years, I'm like 100 days or whatever. And it's just wonderful. I love seeing people get sober and changing their lives. Now, I want you to know this about me, because I know you see me like this, right? I look like hopefully I look like someone who's fairly together, you know, a professional, all of that kind of stuff. I need you to know this about me. I did not show up like this. I was a complete mess. I got sober, thankfully, before cell phones and before social media, but these are a few pictures of me in my 20s when I was drinking. That picture in the middle with me wearing like that gold kind of stuff, that's taken in Key West during Fantasy Fest. I just think, look at my eyes. I just feel like my eyes give it away there. Like I'm there partying. I've got all the party stuff on. I'm in a bar, but my eyes are just dead. It's interesting how someone took that. And then there's that one of me in the bottom with the guy with his hand, and I'm just so drunk. I don't know what's going on. Right. But I'd have told you at the time, I would have told you that I was having fun. Oops. I would have told you that like this was the best night ever. But it really wasn't. So I was lost. I was broken. I was directionless. I always worked. I never got fired from a job or anything like that. But on the outside, I was pretending everything was okay. You know, there's that picture of me in the silver dress. There I am, pretending everything's okay and I'm living the life of Riley. But I want to tell you, on the inside, I didn't like myself. I didn't, I was full of fear. I was full of shame. I was full of self-loathing. And I didn't know how to change. And I was really, really lost. Now, I got sober May 2nd, May 2nd, 2000, I was 27. And people say this to me a lot. They say, I wish I'd been smart like you. I wish I'd been lucky like you. I wish that, you know, you were so insightful to see that it was a problem. None of those things are true. I was completely desperate. I was completely and utterly desperate. I was hanging on to my sanity by my fingernails. I was not okay. And I got given the gift of desperation. I had actually been looking for help in a lot of places. I was looking for help in, I'd went to lots of doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists and therapists and religious leaders. And I was looking for someone to help me and fix me because I knew something was wrong with me. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was the drinking. I thought that I was drinking. I drank like my peer group, right? Everybody my age drank like this. Who can relate to that? Like that's how everybody was when I was in my 20s. We all partied and it was all fine, right? But it wasn't fine. So the reason that I stopped drinking is I had a really bad experience with drugs when I was a teenager, and that pushed me into drug-induced psychosis. And I had really bad panic attacks and anxiety, and they dominated my life. Now, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. My drinking, and this was 18 years old I was when this happened. My drinking changed overnight from being just a binge drinker because I believed that was the best way to have fun to needing alcohol to cope. Very quick, if anyone has suffered from anxiety, and I'm going to guess pretty much the majority of you have suffered from anxiety. It's the worst experience. Anxiety. I used to have 3, 4, 5, 10 panic attacks in a day. My life was so unlivable. I was popping prescription drugs, but the only thing that seemed to work was alcohol, right? So if there was a social situation of any kind, I needed to pre-drink. Who did pre-drinking? I did pre-drinking. I used to think I was the only one who did these things. We are so unoriginal. I remember when I was at university when I was about 22 and I couldn't cope sitting in a lecture hall because I'd have a panic attack. And if the lectures were in the afternoon, I could go to the bar at Student Union Bar in London and I could have a pint and a half of lager. And that gave me just enough of the right buzz to get through the afternoon. But if the lecture was at 10 o'clock in the morning, then I was screwed. And I remember being in the toilets in my university in North London, and I had something like this with Coca-Cola and vodka in it. Vodka is the drink of choice for secret drinkers. Have you noticed that? And I was like making myself drink it because I didn't want to drink vodka at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I remember thinking, this is what alcoholics do, like surely. And I thought, no, I can't be an alcoholic because alcoholics enjoy it and I'm not enjoying it. I'm doing this because I have to. That was my insane rationalization. And we do that. We have insane rationalizations about why we need to drink the way that we do. If you have anxiety, stopping drinking is the best thing you can do about that. Like, so if you stop drinking, it will clear up over time. EFT is also great for it. The tapping is fantastic. But I really want you to know that, can everyone see? You can see me as well, right? You can see me as well as the slides that I'm showing you. I always get confused about what, yeah, you can. Okay. So I want you to know what you see here is a result of doing the work. There is nothing special and different about me. There was no luck involved. And in fact, I want to tell you, when I got sober, I had zero help. I had no family, I think I had an ex-boyfriend who was nice to me, who went to my first AA meeting. And I got sober in AA because this is almost 25 years ago. There wasn't anything else. That's all I had. There was nothing else. I couldn't afford rehab. I couldn't afford anything. So EFT is the tapping. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a little while. Okay. Oh, we have a VIP session right after this. We can do some tapping in that if people want to. If people want to join the VIP session, it's going to happen at the top of the hour. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. We can emotional freedom technique. Okay, so I just want you to know that please don't say, like, I just put the work in, and if you put the work in, it will work for you. Okay, so alcohol lies to us. Cindy, you're welcome. You hang out. Okay, this is why we drink. And there's people here from all over the world, but I think that our cultures are very similar, right? I grew up in 70s, 80s England, and my culture, my peer group, and my media all sold me the same story. And the story that they sold me was alcohol is the best way to have fun, excitement, belonging, connection, and to relax and to reward myself. Did everyone else get sold the same story, right? And I started drinking at 14, 15. I was going into bars and nightclubs because I wanted to have that. Who doesn't want to have that, right? It sounds great. That sounds brilliant. I want to have more of that, please. So and that's what all the adults around me were doing, and I couldn't wait to be part of it. So here's the thing. We internalize this belief, and this is going to be relevant later on when I talk about stopping and how to stop thinking about drinking. So you have a internalized belief that is in your subconscious mind. We are going to be on Wednesday talking about how the subconscious mind works. So make sure you don't miss Wednesday, okay? So just for now, just know that we have lots of beliefs that we just absorb and we don't question them. They just run in our subconscious mind. So here's the first thing. If you believe, like I believe the sun will set tonight, that alcohol is the best way to have fun, what do you think it's going to feel like if you think about stopping? It's going to feel devastating, right? It's going to feel like when I had to stop drinking at 27, and the only reason I stopped was my panic attacks were so bad and I was so miserable that I was looking for help everywhere, and it came really clear to me that alcohol was making my anxiety and panic attacks worse, and that I had to stop drinking. And I was very, very reluctant about that because I didn't want to give up any of the things, right? I 27 years old, I believed, again, beliefs is really important. I believed my life was over. I would never have fun again. I would never go dancing again. I would never flirt, let alone get laid again. I would be dull, boring, gray, sitting in the corner. But if I didn't have anxiety and panic attacks, I reluctantly took that deal. That was the deal I thought was being offered to me. I was not happy about that deal, but I was so desperate to have peace and not this constant anxiety that I took it. I'm sacrificing all of these things, the fun, excitement, the belonging, connection, all of that, just so I have some peace and calm. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. I'll take that deal. I was wrong. None of those beliefs were true. They were just beliefs. We have a lot of very, 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 very faulty beliefs that are running our thinking and the outcomes that we have in our life. And this is one of them. Now, it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen like 3 days later, right? It's going to take a little bit of time. But slowly, over time, I began to feel better. And I began to see that everything I believed about sobriety was incorrect. And I began to see drinking and alcohol. I just began to see it differently. So I'm going to say this several times over the next 5 days, but this is important. Write it down. All sobriety is a shift in perception. That's all sobriety is. It's a shift in perception. You just see everything differently. There is no way I could be sober almost 25 years if I still believed that alcohol was the best way to have fun and I was missing out. Right? There's no way. There's no way that you can be sober. You can't be sober 6 months if you feel like that. Right? What's the point? Fun is important. Connection, belonging, those are things that are all important. So we have been lied to and misled. And the most important, if you take nothing from this 5 days, but this is the most important thing you need to know. To stay sober, we have to see things differently. Otherwise, you're doing it on willpower and it won't work. So to stay sober, we have to see things differently. And we have to ask, so I want you to ask yourselves this question: is alcohol delivering on its promises? Is alcohol delivering on its promises? Because that's the thing. I just believed, like, and I believed it was I had no idea what you did if you didn't drink, especially at the weekends. But I'd never stopped to actually think like about the cost. We are also trained to not notice the cost of drinking. And this is how we do it. Who's ever had a really bad hangover? Like, just awful. Every time I drank. Who's then had people around them go, oh, yeah, but it was worth it though. Right? It was worth it though. I'm going to tell you, looking back, no, it wasn't. Like, I would feel like utter crap for days. Like, it wasn't like just the next morning. Like 2 days usually would be written off. And I'd feel like crap for most of the week. It wasn't worth it. Now, we're not all mad and stupid. At the beginning, it was fun, right? At the beginning, there was some fun, excitement, connection, right? And there was always a cost to that, but we were trained very quickly to not see the cost. And very quickly, the benefits and the cost kind of did this. But we're getting like less and less of the stuff it promises and more of the cost. And it's not just the hangovers. Like, who's woken up full of shame about something they said or did? Who's woken up like full of fear? Like about like, oh my God, seeing somebody, or what did they say, or what did they do, right? The cost isn't worth it. So one of the things that we need to do at the beginning of our drinking, and I have this in one of my programs, actually I have it in several of my programs, is that we do a cost benefit analysis, which is like a whole document that we go through, and we forensically look at the cost and the benefit of our drinking. And then at the end of it, you can just ask yourself, am I getting a good return on my investment? Am I getting a good return on my investment? And I've never had anyone say, yeah, it's all right, actually. We're not. Perception and beliefs and how we see the world is really important in this process, because not only does alcohol lie to us, we're really good at lying to ourselves. We're really good at rationalizing. Is this making sense to everybody? I have a few people say that they're not drinking to have fun, that they're drinking to turn their heads off, their thinking off, to get out of their head, to relieve stress, all that kind of stuff. I don't know about you guys, I'm about to turn 52. The older you get, I don't want to miss my life. Just let that sink in. I do not want to miss my life and be numb to it. I want to be fully present in this absolute gift of a life I've been given. And I want that for you as well. We want to create lives that we don't want to run away from. So I've talked about how our peer groups and all of that kind of stuff. I think the other thing that happens is it was also assumed that we would drink alcohol, right? No, but unless you grow up in a culture, really a religion, like you're a Muslim or a Mormon, there's certain religions that prohibit drinking alcohol. It was always assumed that I would drink, right? And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I have a slight issue with parents assuming that about their children. Why would we assume that somebody would want to take this toxic, carcinogenic, central nervous system depressant? Why would we culturalize, is that a word, people into everybody drinks alcohol, right? It was just always assumed that we would drink. And just notice how drink is asserted into every area of our life. Okay, so how do you know if you have a problem with alcohol? So this is the test that I've always used, and I think it's a really good one. It's a really effective one. I'll explain why. People with an alcohol problem, they do 4 things. They drink, they think about drinking, they think about not drinking, and they recover from drinking. Here's the biggest indicator. It's the thinking about not drinking. People who don't have a problem with alcohol, they don't think about it. Has everyone heard my sandwiches analogy? Would you like to hear it? It's the thinking that is the giveaway. This is how a normal person, has anyone wondered how a normal person thinks about alcohol? Because I'll explain how a normal person thinks about alcohol. Because that's what we're trying to do with our drinking, right? We're just trying to make it normal, right? This is how a normal person thinks about alcohol. They think about alcohol the same way I think about sandwiches. So I might think, oh, I'll have a sandwich for lunch. That'll be nice. I'll eat my sandwich. Tomorrow I might have some soup. Next day I might have a salad. It might be at a party at the weekend. Plate of sandwiches goes by. I think, oh, I'll have a couple of those. That's nice. A bit later, plate of sandwiches goes by. I go, no, I'm good. Thanks. I've had enough. That's how a normal person thinks about alcohol. They just don't. They might occasionally have one and that's fine. They enjoy it, but they don't think about it. They don't think about having another one or think about like, maybe I should cut down. It's the thinking about not drinking that is the biggest giveaway. So if you do all 4 of those things, you're in the right place. Is everybody in the right place? Good. That's me on one of my retreats. I'm doing a retreat in a couple of weeks in Mexico. Okay, so when we have a problem with alcohol, we sacrifice bandwidth. So bandwidth, all it is energy and space to think thoughts. So we have a finite amount of energy, and as anyone knows who's getting older, right, that kind of gets smaller and smaller, and we have only a finite amount of space to think about things. So we sacrifice a portion of that bandwidth to alcohol. Now, this is really important on the return on investment bit. Is how much bandwidth you're sacrificing to alcohol worth it? Are you getting a good deal there? How much bandwidth are you sacrificing to alcohol? Put it in the chat. I want to say I was sacrificing at least 50%, maybe more. I functioned in that I had a job and I did my laundry, but my whole life was about drinking, thinking about drinking, and recovering from drinking. That was my whole life. Okay, it's quite a high number. There's 90%. Is everybody, are you okay with this? Here's the thing. Imagine what you could do with that bandwidth. Imagine what you could do in the world with your life if you got your bandwidth back. I'm going to let you guys know a secret, because I've seen this over 20 years of working with people. Here's the great thing. There's lots of great things about getting sober, but here's one of them. When you stop drinking and you are sober, you get your bandwidth back. Eventually the mental obsession will go. You won't think about it. You'll just be living your life. And you will have all of this extra energy and space to think thoughts that you didn't have access to. Here's the thing: when you sacrifice your bandwidth, you can still function. A lot of you are functioning here, but you can't grow emotionally. And the reason that you can't grow emotionally is you don't have the bandwidth to grow emotionally. And that is what human beings are designed to do. You are designed to grow emotionally. You're designed to grow beyond where you are now. Life is calling you. It's why you're here. Life is calling you to grow beyond where you are now. When you get your bandwidth back, you will be called to grow beyond where you are now. And for each and every one of you, I just want you to I want everyone to hear this. That is where your extraordinariness is. And that's what you came here to be, is extraordinary in your own unique way. That's what's on offer when you get sober. It's not just about stopping drinking. It's about accessing your bandwidth and your extraordinariness. Who would like that? Does that sound okay? And don't let it frighten you. It doesn't mean that, like, I don't know, some of you might go and cure cancer, but maybe, I don't know, you plant a nice garden, or you're just a really good neighbor, or how you parent your children, or maybe you write something, or it's about being the fullest version of yourself. Because when we are sacrificing this kind of bandwidth, we are living 50% lives. And I want you guys from today onwards to be done living a 50% life. Carrie, just pop the Facebook group, the Fresh Start Facebook group link in again. Just make sure you're in the Facebook group if you want to win prizes and kind of chat more about the content. And also, if you want to come to the VIP event directly after this is a Zoom meeting where you can ask me questions and we can interact, and I'll help you and coach you and all that kind of stuff. And that happens in 25 minutes. If you want to go to the next session, Carrie will put the link for the VIP sessions if you want to do that. Okay, good news is you can go to the land of fun, excitement, belonging, connection, relaxing, rewarding yourself without alcohol, and it's better. I would not be sober. There's nothing, first of all, there's nothing special and different about me. Nothing. All I did was the work, and I teach the work in all of my different programs. I teach the work. That's what I do. If you do the work, you can get to this land too. It's not, you don't have to be lucky. You don't have to be special or different. You just have to do the work. And your life will change beyond all recognition. I want to tell you, I've had an amazing life. It's not been without its challenges, because I'm human, right? That's part of the human experience. I will tell you that everything is better when you're sober. And everything is negotiable as long as you don't drink. You can get through everything. Okay. Somehow, we have ended up in a place where alcohol becomes the answer to how we are feeling. And alcohol has inserted itself in every area of our lives. Can you believe, like, it drives me crazy. Yoga and wine, like there's nothing about yoga that alcohol goes with, but we've inserted alcohol into all of these places where it doesn't belong. What we've done is we have normalized abnormal drinking. Now, this is what I did, and I wonder if you did as well. We have outsourced the management of our emotions to alcohol. I did not know how to manage my emotional life. I didn't know how to deal with fear, anger, frustration, loneliness, all of the negative emotions, right? I didn't know how to deal with them. Nothing was role modeled in my family, and I wasn't parented in a way that showed me how to deal with those feelings and emotions. So when I was 14, 15, and I first started drinking, before I even picked up alcohol, I felt very uncomfortable in my own skin, and I didn't like myself. As soon as I drank alcohol, it felt like the solution to me. I loved it. I loved how it felt. So I very quickly, my brain went, this works. This works. Let's do this then. So I outsourced the management of my emotions to alcohol. And I wonder who else has done this. If I was stressed, I drank. If I had social anxiety, I drank. I did it to manufacture fun, right? I was manufacturing, like trying to make things fun, because I was so clueless. I was so lost. I was so clueless. To fit in, I drank because it was expected. I always tended in my 20s to be in work cultures where everybody like went to happy hour. Like, who always ended up in those work cultures where you went to happy hour, or there was like a lot of drinking around the work situation? I remember once I was dating this guy at university, and he dumped me on a phone call. And I put the phone down, and my next thought was, this is a 2 bottle of wine job. Because I felt that the feelings of abandonment were coming towards me, and I didn't want to feel them. And I knew that I needed a substantial amount of alcohol to not feel that way. So when we stopped drinking, we were emotional teenagers. So one of the other things that is really important, and this is going to keep people stuck, and I hear this a lot, the number one reason people are scared, this is why, the number one reason people are scared to stop drinking is they're scared of missing out. Scared of missing out. Who has felt that way or even said that? I hear that over and over, but what are you scared of missing out on? What exactly? Have a look at your drinking over the last few beers. Which is the bit you don't want to miss? Chris drinks because I have emotional teenagers. No, you don't, Chris. That's the story you're telling yourself, so you can drink. There is so many great non-alcoholic products on the market. You can find something if you like the taste or the whatever, the glass or whatever. You know, I like chocolate, but I can't eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because it would be bad for me. So we can navigate everything when we're sober. Yeah, we will crave it. Yeah, lots of people, their drinking increased during the pandemic. I just think it's crazy. We hardly ever talk about that now. Yeah, Nikki, that's a common one. Scared I won't fit in and have fun with friends. That's a perception. And that's the bit where we have to change our perception of how we see things. So let me talk about self-sabotage, because this is probably going to be an experience that some of you are having. Who here has quit drinking before in the past? Who here has woken up and gone, That's it. I am done. I'm never doing that again. I am stopping. I'm 100% like, that was awful. I never want to do that again. Who has done that? And they meant it, and they would swear on the Bible or their children's lives, and they absolutely never wanted to. And then you found yourself drinking again. I want to explain why that happens. So we all have a voice in our heads. It's the voice of the ego. You're not crazy. We are all narrating our own lives, right? We're all kind of thinking, oh, what should I have for dinner? And oh, I've got to pick up the kids and I've got to do that. The purpose of the ego is to keep you safe. That's what the ego is here to do. The purpose of the ego is to keep you safe. The ego believes the best way to keep you safe is if everything's familiar and nothing changes. So when you wake up and you decide, like, that's it, I never want to drink again, what you're doing is you are moving towards a different place, which is the land of sober, where you've never been before. Whenever we do anything new, who can remember starting a new job, starting a college course, doing anything new and just feeling really like, oh my God, you know, when the day comes around, why did I do this? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Nothing makes sense. I'm not going to fit in here. I'm going to look foolish. Like, that would always happen to me whenever I started a new job or a college course or anything like that. I would want to do it, and then I'd start it, and I'd want to completely backtrack. I'd want to and sometimes I did sabotage myself. The reason for that is your ego. It's because you're doing something new that is unknown and unfamiliar, and the ego is scared that it won't be able to keep you safe. So it starts sending you all of these messages and making you really uncomfortable. So you retreat and just go back to this really comfortable, familiar place that you've been in. It's the same when you stop drinking, right? You decide to stop drinking. Maybe you sign up to a course or buy some books or listen to a podcast. Maybe you do 30 days or 60 days and you begin to feel better. And then what happens? What happens? That voice in your head goes, you're not that bad. You could just have one or two. It's been a month. It's Friday. Everyone else is having one and they're fine, right? That voice in your head is the ego, and it's telling you anything that will work to get you to not change. So this is really important. To successfully stop drinking, you need to understand you are going to go through this process. You're going to go through a little bit of time where it feels really uncomfortable, and you're going to have those thoughts going round and round in your head. It will pass. It won't stay that way. But we have got used to not wanting to feel uncomfortable. We don't like feeling uncomfortable. And we have had years of like, oh, I don't like how I feel. Drink will change that. Drink will change that. So you have to sit with uncomfortable feelings and know that they will pass. And here's what you can say. This is what I teach my clients. So that voice will come in like, oh, you're not that bad. Oh, it'll be different this time. You could just have two. You're going to go, oh, that's the voice of the ego that Veronica told me about. Thank you for keeping me safe, but I don't need your help today. And then you just do the next right thing. And eventually, just like if you remember when you started the job or the college course and it felt really uncomfortable and you felt really out of your depth and you didn't want to do it, you just kept going and then it became your new normal. And then it was fine. It's the same with sobriety. So that feeling of it's resistance, it's ego resistance to change. It will happen whenever you do anything new. Sobriety is something new. It's going to happen. It will pass. But you need to, what we have to do, the biggest skill is we have to learn to sit with uncomfortable feelings. Does this make sense to everybody? Is there any questions about that? We have to, navigating around resistance is just a skill. How long does the uncomfortable feeling last till it's a new normal? Claire, I think it's different for everyone, but not very long. I want to say just maybe a few days or even just a few weeks, not very long. It will go. Yeah. So practicing, I'm going to talk about this in the the rest of the week about the things you can do. So that there's a lot. I can't pack everything into one day. That's why we have 5 days. So I'm going to teach you how to navigate around that and all of that kind of stuff. But I wanted you to know what's happening psychologically with the ego resistance. Now, here's the thing. When we have an alcohol problem, we leave ourselves by degrees, right? We just begin to abandon ourselves. Like maybe it's a little lie that we tell to justify our behavior. Maybe we are manipulative. Maybe we just do things. We leave ourselves. And one day we wake up and we have become someone we don't recognize. Who sees that that's happened? This picture of me here, this guy here was actually my fiance and we were going to get married. I didn't love him. He was a very nice man. The only reason that I agreed to marry him was because I was so frightened and lost, and I just wanted a safe harbor. Now, that is out of alignment with my integrity and values. I don't want to enter into marriage with someone that I don't love because I want to use them to feel safe. That's really way out of alignment with my beliefs and my values. But that's what happens to me when alcohol takes over. I lie, I steal, I cheat, I manipulate. Oh God, do I manipulate? I'm flaky. I don't mean what I say. I'm a lot of smoke and mirrors. And I want to tell you, when you do that, this is a very painful way to live. It is an emotionally painful way to live. And that's one of the reasons that you drink. Because to abandon yourself, to be out of alignment with your values, with your beliefs, is emotionally painful, and you will need an anesthetic. That's why sobriety is the journey back to yourselves. Sobriety is the journey back to yourself. Now, here's the thing. We're going to take this journey back to ourselves, and we're going to get back in alignment with who we really are. There is no feeling that any chemical can give you that is better than that feeling. Being fully connected to who you really are, there is no high, no buzz that can come close to that. Does that make sense to everybody? So this is why it doesn't happen overnight. This is the journey back to who you really are. Who wants to take that journey? Who wants to do that? Because I wrote about this in my book. Don't miss your life. You did not come here to argue with yourself about whether you're going to have a drink tonight or not, or how much you're going to drink, or what do people think about my drinking. That is BS. You came here to be the fullest version of yourself that you can be. To be a messy human being who is in alignment with their values and their beliefs, who is open to expansion and whatever life brings you. There is no other way to live. If we can't live that way, we need an anesthetic. Am I making sense? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ruth, that's a good, I need to learn who I am again. That is a big part of getting sober. Now, again, I'm going to talk, running out of time, I'm going to talk about a lot of this. I was a chronic people pleaser. I really I cared about you liking me. It didn't occur to me that I had to like myself. When I got sober, I had no idea who I was, and I had to discover, oh, that's an adventure. Don't miss that adventure. I didn't know if I liked hamburgers or hot dogs. If you like hamburgers, I like hamburgers. But when I got sober, I was like I had to discover who I was. Maybe I do like hot dogs. It's a wonderful journey to take. Don't miss it. Very quickly, the reason you can't moderate is because of the dopamine reward system. Alcohol has really messed up with your brain's ability to function, and it takes up to a year for your brain to get back to normal functioning. So the reason you can't moderate, I'm just going to put it very simply, is your brain will never, ever forget how much alcohol you need. It doesn't matter if you stop for a month, a year, 10 years. I've seen it. your brain will remember, no, we don't want a glass and a half of wine. We want a bottle and a half. Your brain will not forget. So you are going, that's the reason you can't moderate, is because you're going against brain chemistry. And we get stuck in this loop of perception where we think next time will be different. That's a lie. We're lying to ourselves, and we need to stop lying to ourselves. So important to know, early sobriety is not how it is long-term. This is really, really important. The first year is very unique. It's a very unique experience. You're going through a big lifestyle change. How do I socialize sober? What are my friendships going to be like renegotiating how I am with friends. Your brain, your gut, your hormones, your body chemistry all need time to get back to homeostasis, which is normal functioning, right? That all takes time. So know that this first year or so, it's not how it is long term. It's not how it is in year 3, 4, 10, right? You're also going through all of the firsts. First Christmas, first New Year's, first birthday, first vacation, first time at the airport, sober. And it's going to be weird. It's just going to be weird and uncomfortable until it isn't, till it becomes your new normal. So I want you to know that it's just not, yes, that's exactly right, Major. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Yes, 4 weeks, well done, but it's absolutely nothing. If you think about how many decades you have abused alcohol, your brain just needs time to recover. So if you have that, sobriety is not boring, but if you have that flat blah feeling, it's because of dopamine. Now, there's 2 things that you can do that really help. One is connection with people, sober people. Connection creates endorphins that will heal your brain. The second thing is exercise. Exercise heals your brain. So for people, I think, are a little unrealistic about how long this takes. It takes up to a year for your body to recover. And I want to just clarify, because we're going to talk about this, what being sober actually means. Sobriety is when we feel comfortable in our own skins and we have emotional mastery. So if you followed my work at all, you know I talk about this a lot. Sobriety is only 10% not drinking alcohol and 90% emotional sobriety. And that is the work that you must do. And I'm going to be talking about that in the next few days. We're running out of time. How was that, everybody? So let me just, how to stop thinking about drinking. So first of all, you have to understand why you drink the way you do. You have to understand you've outsourced the management of your emotions to alcohol. So the problem isn't so much alcohol. The problem is managing your emotions. You need to have time to heal your brains, and you need to put effort into emotional sobriety. And I'm going to teach a lot of that over the next 4 days. Who's coming for the next 4 days? Was this helpful? Was this, did you get what you needed? Who's coming to the VIP sessions? Because we can chat and talk and all that kind of stuff there. Carrie, just put the VIP stuff in. I'm going to give you the homework question. What is at risk if you don't stay sober? What is at risk if you don't stay sober? And if you here I am. Let me just show you where you need to put this. Oh God, hold on. How do I get rid of that? Bear with me, people. Escape. Escape, Carrie. Carrie says, if all else fails, press escape. Let me show you here. Fresh start challenge. Is this? We'll get rid of that. Go back, yes. Okay. There should be a post that will pop up in the Fresh Start Challenge. Only put your answer there, and I will send you a signed copy of my book. I'll send you some Soberful swag for anybody who answers the homework question. We just pick a random winner. Okay, everybody. The replay will be sent out. So if you've signed up, you'll get a replay. Don't worry. We don't want you to miss it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about how to start a sobriety habit, how to get a sobriety habit, change your alcohol habit to a sobriety habit. Thank you so much for showing up live. Thank you so much for your interaction and your questions. I'm going to see some of you in the VIP group where we can kind of, it's a much smaller group and we can chat and all of that kind of stuff. Yes, it'll be sent by email, but I will also post it in the Facebook group. Replays will also be posted in the Facebook group. And so if you can't come live, watch the recording. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow.